What up, world? You already know what time it is. It's your boy Matt Mills, the host with the most, never need to brag no boast. All we ever did was give a toast to the real folk who done paved the way in the real way for us plays to play. I'm parlay this good game for y'all today. Now I got a question, man. Why is all this Lebron backlash, hate, and all that? That's because he went and checked Stephen A. Smith. Y'all call him all the silly Sambos and all this shit and all this extra shit all the time because he be doing the most. And now LeBron sees him at one of the games. He's letting them know, like, yo, don't be speaking on my son because you ain't really in a position to do that. You were trash. You know, it's not even like it was another NBA player. And the whole thing about it is Kwame Brown got big off of the fact that he said that shit about Stephen A. Smith. So if Kwame Brown got big, I'm talking about the go along, get along gang. He got big off the internet by talking about Stephen A. Smith doing all this shit to undermine his career. Why can't LeBron go and check him? You know? Well, that's the double standard that you see when it comes to the media, you know what I'm saying? Or social media. Let me rephrase that. Social media. You know? And then Stephen A. Smith speaks about it, and I'm like, Stephen A., what the hell are you talking about? Well, Gil's Arena spoke on it. A couple of other people spoke on it. And I'm like, does it really matter, bro? Sometimes you gotta check reporters for talking shit. I'm sure he's not the first reporter that got checked. I'm sure he won't be the last, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that are gonna say, oh, that's not true, that's not good, that's not right. But if your son was making money for a team to the tune of $50 million or even more, and you got him a little gig so he can come on the road with you, you know what I'm saying? Think about that. Before y'all out there running y'all jibs, acting like you know what you never know about. But at the same time, I understand it, you know, because people ain't got nothing to talk about. So they find something to talk about. But I ain't always something to talk about. So I don't think people really know about what they think they know about. What a game. Everybody trying to fast leave. So we gonna see there was a little podcast that was talking about it. I don't want to see what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But first, let's go to our Lakers nation. Fair use. Shout out to everybody out there, man. You know what I'm saying? It's Lakers all day. But you gotta call it a spade, man. If it's all about the money, let it be about the money, man. Don't let it be about hate because we're losing sight of what's real, you know?
Clearly not pleased with Stephen A. having words with him. It looked like it was between the third and fourth quarter there for Lakers Knicks. And there was some question about why he may have been upset with Stephen A. Some speculation that maybe it had to do with Stephen A.'s comments about his son, Bronny. And that indeed, Stephen A. later revealed that indeed was what LeBron was upset about. And LeBron now confirming it here yesterday during the Lakers game or ahead of the Lakers game against the Boston Celtics. Check out what LeBron James has to say to Richard Jefferson. See if you can hear it. So if you heard it, he said, I was talking about as a father. Now, Swaggy C here on X was able to kind of read some lips and transcribe it for us. LeBron at the end, right. That's the only thing I was tripping on. Once he said as a father, that's when, yeah, that was it. So, of course, we know Stephen A. Smith made some comments about LeBron James after Bronny played for the Lakers against the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, there was a lot of context that was missing during that game and in the response to it after the game. It created this whole firestorm of people being upset with LeBron, being upset with the situation, claiming nepotism, all this kind of stuff, because Bronny got absolutely torched by Tyrese Maxey. There's no denying that. That's exactly what happened. And a lot of people took that as an opportunity to jump on the Lakers, especially a lot of people who had zero understanding of the context of the situation. If you take a look at the box score from this game, the Lakers, they were on the second night of a back-to-back, and you could see Anthony Davis left early due to an injury in this one. The Lakers ultimately lost to the 76ers. But second night of a back-to-back, they were missing multiple players due to injury. Gabe Vincent was not available for this game, and Shake Milton did not play well the night before. So the Lakers needed another guard that they could turn to in this situation, and Bronny had been playing well in the G League for the South Bay Lakers, so head coach J.J. Redick made the decision to give him an opportunity here with the Lakers. You can see it did not go well. Played 15 minutes, 0 for 5 shooting, 0 for 3 from 3, 3 turnovers in 15 minutes, and he got crushed by Tyrese Maxey, who made short work of Bronny James. But keep in mind, this was an end-of-the-bench guy for the Lakers in a situation where players in front of him had either played extremely poorly or were injured in the case of Gabe Vincent, and so that created an opportunity for him to play at the NBA level and show what he can do. This is not out of the question to happen. In fact, this happens all the time in the NBA. We see this happen all the time, where a guy at the end of the bench winds up getting an opportunity due to injuries. Hell, look at the Lakers injury report against the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow. I guarantee you, guys that normally would not get opportunities are going to get opportunities in tomorrow's game. Trey Jemison, how did he kind of burst onto the scene? He got an opportunity. Why? Because he played well in the G League, and the Lakers said, well, guys in front of you are getting hurt. We really need another big, and they threw him out there. Look at Jordan Goodwin. He's been a great story this season. How did he get that? Same thing. Guys in front of him got hurt. Max Christie got traded. Suddenly the Lakers needed somebody. Goodwin had been playing well in the G League. They gave him a shot. He played well. And next thing you know, now we're talking about, can he get onto a standard contract? When are the Lakers going to convert him? All of that stuff. He's been a bright spot for the team. This happens. It doesn't always happen that the player that gets that. He's also played very, very well in the G League. So LeBron was upset that after this game, Stephen A. Smith came out And this
Idolo.
overly dramatic take on the whole situation, talking about, I'm pleading with LeBron as
Yo,
a father, stop this. As though LeBron is doing something so egregious and so horrible to his son. A lot of people have commented on this situation and saying, well, LeBron can't be upset with Stephen A. Smith because his son's a professional player now. Therefore, he is open to criticism. If you're going to make him a professional player, that means you can't be upset when he gets criticized. But very clearly, when LeBron says it was when he said the as a father thing, it was not about criticizing Bronny. I don't think that's what LeBron is worried about here. It's when Stephen A. Smith made comments about him as a father, suggesting that he was doing Bronny a disservice by having him be on the Lakers. Now, look, on the Lakers, there is a spotlight that comes with that. There is the added pressure that comes with that. And let's face it, his name is LeBron James Jr. There's going to be added pressure that comes with that every single night. There's no escaping that. There's no getting. It doesn't matter what team he's playing for. There's no escaping that as LeBron's son, there's going to be added pressure. Now, that doesn't get magnified with the Lakers. And I also think it's fair to say, if you want to look at nepotism or anything like that, Bronny, I do think he is at least a G League player right now. I think his success in the G League is telling you that drafting him at 55 was not some egregious, horrific decision. No, it was not. He's doing enough in the G League to make him worth his draft spot. I have no doubt of that. But would he be a Laker specifically? No, probably not. He's probably, who knows, maybe the Lakers would have drafted him, but any of the 29 other teams could have drafted him as well. So is he specifically a Laker? If not for LeBron, probably not. But you know what? Give the kid credit. He's good enough to be at least a G League player on his own merit, to be at least a player that somebody would have taken a gamble on in the second round on his own merit. So people are getting upset about this situation and saying, well, yeah, he's a player now. You can't be upset with Stephen A. Smith for criticizing him. No, that's not what he's upset with. He's upset with Stephen A. Smith for criticizing LeBron as a father, as though LeBron has done some horrible wrong. And you know what? If Bronny had a history of really struggling with being in the spotlight, then maybe this is a little bit of a different story. Maybe there's something to what Stephen A. is saying here. You know, maybe you're saying, you know, God, you could see it. Your son's just not, he's struggling. This is a really tough spot for him to be in. But you know what? You know what we've seen? And maybe it's just because he's been around it so much from day one. The media stuff doesn't seem to bother Bronny one bit. The kid pretty much doesn't get fazed. He did seem nervous to be in an NBA game and be competing against NBA players. He did seem nervous when he was tasked with defending Tyrese Maxey. And that is a difficult ask. Go defend one of the best guards in the NBA. That is, you're asking a lot of Bronny. But the media stuff, the spotlight stuff, that really doesn't seem to bother him. That doesn't seem to bother him at all. So when Stephen A. is coming out saying, I'm pleading with LeBron, and as a father, stop this, you know, all this stuff, he's being in the magnifying glass and all of that, bring LeBron's parenting into question. It's not, you want to say Bronny needs to get better as a jump shooter? You want to say Bronny needs to get stronger or faster or needs to be a better ball handler? Whatever it is, basketball, I don't think you'd have a problem with that. Because that's what basketball analysts do. That's what sports analysts do. Say, hey, this is what this guy needs to do in order to get to that next level. But taking it to, and obviously LeBron, his comment to Richard Jefferson confirms that taking it to the level where he's being criticized for his parenting, that was what LeBron took exception to. And I think a lot of us can relate and understand why LeBron would feel as certain as being criticized for his play on the court. This is LeBron being upset that Stephen A. Smith would question him as a father because of this situation. Now, I also think it's a little bit ironic, hypocritical perhaps, that Stephen A. is now saying, gosh, I really didn't want to have to talk about all of this and everything like that. You know what? If your primary concern was really Bronny, and oh my gosh, you've put him in the magnifying glass and all of that stuff, and this poor kid kid, and that's the angle you want to take on people out just got that new deal, $100 million for Stephen A. Smith. He knows what happens when he talks about somebody. He knows the magnifying effect that has. If his concern is Bronny, then as much as he criticized LeBron for, he didn't need to talk to me in public. He could have done that behind closed doors. You could have talked about Bronny behind closed doors. Just like when you're saying, hey, he knows how to get a hold of me, Rich Paul's got my number. Maverick Carter's got my number. Yeah, that means you have a way to get a hold of LeBron too. If you're really that concerned about the well-being of Bronny, you are just trying to be a benefactor here for Bronny situation for a young man. If that's really where you're at, you could have reached out to LeBron and said, hey, I got some concerns here and all of that. Instead of going on TV and saying, as a father, stop this. You could have had that conversation with him man to man. This is all for dramatic effect. And again, I'm not saying that's Stephen A. being Stephen A. That's Stephen A. doing his thing. There's a reason why he's making $100 million. He is great at what he does. But it was all for dramatic effect. So when he's coming back out here and saying, LeBron, we didn't need to do this in person. You could have called me. You could have contacted me. Yeah, you could have done the same thing. If you were really that worried about Bronny. Of course you weren't. You weren't that worried about Bronny. You were worried about your numbers and your ratings and how many people were going to watch you say the things that you were going to say and how much that was going to go viral and how many people were going to click on it, how many people were going to talk about it and engagement farming and all of that. That's what he was concerned about. And once again, he's great at it. He's great at it. But now we can finally close the book on all of this, or at least I hope we can, because now we have confirmation from LeBron, not just Stephen A., but from LeBron, that it was indeed the comments about him as a father that really got LeBron upset and got him to go say something to Stephen A. Smith. Anyway, back to Lakers basketball now. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Make sure you do subscribe right here to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Till next time, see ya and stay safe.
Yeah, man.
What you saying? LeBron and Stephen A. are
Salute to
going
my
at it?
bro. Yeah, over Bronny.
Right.
Now, what you think about that?
Well, Homeboy was on point, with the fact that Stephen A. is all about the ratings and creating a certain effect with how he conveys whatever his message is. He always puts the little extra dramatics to it. He's very, very good at what he does as far as getting people to listen to it. That's what he does. He creates an energy where you're concerned with what he's saying, because of the way he says it. So that's part of his thing. At the same time, I understand LeBron's standpoint. LeBron, he's defending him. He's defending his own. He's doing what he's supposed to do. I understand his point of view as far as Stephen A. reaching out to him and reasoning with him on a level. But again, he's doing what his job is to create.
What Stephen A. spoke is like, when he said what he said about LeBron, he's like, as a parent. LeBron's a parent. Stephen A ain't got no kids. How could he speak on somebody as a parent and he ain't got no
Ah,
kids?
you see, that's
Um,
the real deal Holyfield right there. He has to come to terms with that, Stephen A. He has to come to terms with that for real.
you know what I mean? It don't make no sense.
I don't think he
It
thought
don't make
that
no
one through
sense.
at all.
And you know what? I think he didn't grow up with his father, you know? And
Right,
LeBron didn't grow up with his father neither. So
right.
when LeBron confronted him, he's like, as a father, and he looked at Stephen A like, what is wrong with you, bro? You
You
had
wish you
no
could do what
father,
I'm doing.
just like me. Now I'm a father. You have no kids, and you run in your mouth.
Right.
You ain't half the man I am. You know what I'm saying?
You wish you could do what I do. Yeah. Of course. That's the thing. Stephen A really wishes he
So
could
it's
do what
kind of,
LeBron does. You know what I'm saying? I know a
it's
lot
kind
of
of
people,
crazy, you know.
but nah, you can't get you can't
And the
get mad
fact of the
at
matter
LeBron.
is, LeBron looked at it as a business deal. He's like, yo, if you guys want my son, you got to play on the same team as me. Man's been in the league for 20 years. If he has his grown son with him on year 20 something, showing him the ropes, traveling everywhere with him, showing him how he made his money off his bread and butter.
Yeah,
What's wrong with that? That's like the ultimate, father son relationship because he missed all those. He probably missed a bunch of what you call it, Christmases, birthdays, or whatever the case may be. Being on the road, being playing ball. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So now that he got his son close to him, I think he wanted just to be like play alongside him and bond with him a little bit more.
yeah. No, that's dope. That's dope.
Young man.
Nah, like
And
I said, anybody in LeBron's position would do that, you know. Um, and it is also a business move, just the whole hype around
because
father and son.
exactly, his son's getting paid 8 million for the 4 years or whatever, 3 4 years. But the Lakers made 50 million and counting off his jersey.
Exactly.
So it's a business move at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Great business, you know what I mean?
yeah. Nah, you can't go wrong. That's the thing too, right? It's like,
You think LeBron's not gonna make the right business uh move for his son?
right.
Just let him go anywhere and come on, bro. It don't make no sense.
The man's already hit to the game, so for sure he's gonna position his son where he's guaranteed the best outcome. You know,
Yeah, and he was the face
Regardless-
of the league for 20 freaking years. Like, yo, you can't put my son on? What? You guys have made me the face of the league. All this scrutiny you had to go through since starting.
yeah,
You already know he was supposed to be the replacement for Jordan from
right,
high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. From high school? That's what they call you? Jordan's replacement.
right. Best player in the world from high school now. That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, there's a kid in high school and that's when Kobe and Iverson and everybody else was in the league. That's what they're talking about. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? At their peak. So I don't understand what's the whole thing about, him being His father. They're talking about nepotism. What's nepotism? LeBron don't own the friggin' company, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
But he owns his brand, he owns his name,
right.
and he should put his son in position. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah,
like his
yeah.
son needs the money, but he wants to bond with him, and he wants to be closer to his son, and he wants to play ball. Nobody ever talked about a 54th pick like this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, he shouldn't be in the league. When's the last time we talked about a 54th pick? And I'm sure there's players in the league that average like 0 points too. You know what I mean? Not to say Bronny's shouldn't be averaging more, but you know, it is what it is.
Another thing, you have to give him time for growth and maturity too, right?
Yeah, because he kills it in the G League, so you know,
Right.
and he's trying to pace himself. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You can't give in to all the hype and then uh he's going 200 miles an hour and blow a gasket. Then the man's out of the picture completely. You know what I'm saying? Like they want the
Exactly.
man to completely injure himself to try to prove to the people, like,
Exactly.
nah, forget that, bro. Take your time, grow at your own pace and develop yourself. These guys want, at the end of the day, I get it. It comes with the territory. His name is his name, synonymous with the greatest. So it is what it is. But you know, you got to give the man his chance to grow on his own still.
Yeah, exactly. You know, exactly. That's the thing. You know, because what did they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
That's a lot of pressure, bro. And
Yeah,
I
and the
think
fact that
for go ahead.
no, I agree 100%. That's a lot of pressure. I was gonna say the fact that he has all this pressure and he's still like level-headed about it. He's still mature enough to know, okay, I have this pressure, but I'm gonna move at my own pace. I'm gonna take whatever comes with it gracefully and still maintain doing what I'm doing. Like he's not, you know what I'm saying? Like a lesser person would probably go all the way left with it because it is a lot to deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But he's managing his self and his keeping himself his head level, his psyche level throughout all the scrutiny and all the criticism. He's taking it in stride and being graceful with himself. So that's something to,
exactly.
you know, give the man credit for too.
Yeah, exactly. So people never talk about that aspect, you know? Like, oh, he's LeBron, so he's supposed to be better than Jordan. Like, that's not
Right,
even
right,
the case. It's like two different positions, first of all. And then second of all, their game is not fashioned the same, you know?
right.
But
Built different. I feel like Bryce is built more like LeBron. Bronny is
mm-hmm.
built his mother, a little bit
Exactly.
more of a athletic. He's more compact. You know,
Right.
Bryce is a little bit. He got the length, right? Bryce got the length and the height and the athleticism, but Bronny is more a speedy type player, and
I mean, he could
he's
shoot, you know. He just needs to get into his own, you know.
Yeah,
But I'm not. But at the same time, it's like for people to look out for a Brownie to be like next. I don't know what they expect from him, but it's like
right,
you know, it's kind of dumb still, you know.
right. And it's a different time too. You have to understand, like this generation is different from the last one, way different. Back then, all the players, like you can even look at the draft, bro. Like look at the players and the level, the levels. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole class. You know, like you're saying, the Iverson, the Kobe's, you know, the Vince Carters, the T Max, you know, the Paul Pierces, you know, all these different calibers of talent compared to Bronny's class and the caliber of his talent, of that talent pool. Like it's hard to compare because at the end of the day, back then it was more there was more hunger for the game. You know why? Because we didn't necessarily have access to all this information. You know, this is the internet era, so they have access to all the information. Back then, we had to go look for the info. We had to go search and we had to create the info. You know what I'm saying? All the info that's out there today was created by that class and that talent pool. So you know, you can't expect them to move at the same pace or have the same amount of grit. It's a different world nowadays. It's a shoot like the game is different.
Yeah, I guess it's different, but still, you know, the game remains the same, dog. They still got to put the ball in the hole, you know. Still got to get those baskets. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. I'm not saying the talent pool is trash, but it ain't what it used to be. But at the same time, you can't diss a man for just playing, you know, playing it to his benefit because at the end of the day, LeBron is a business. And he's looking at his whole family like that too, you know?
Yep.
And he should be able to get paid handsomely,
For all the work
no
he
matter what.
been put in.
Yeah, you know? So now, when people say, oh, Stephen A is allowed to criticize him, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he could criticize the game. He could criticize, but to criticize the man's parenting and you have no kids, I find that to be
Out of
ludicrous.
pocket. He's out of pocket. He has no legs to stand on with that one.
Yep. But then some, you know, social media is going to say the opposite just to get, you know, views and all that. It's
The
affecting
algorithm.
LeBron
just
wanted
like
to be addressed. He didn't know when he was going to leave to Stephen A. Heard Stephen A.'s comments that this was someone's father talking to me. This was not LeBron James, top 5 NBA. Like, the hat he was wearing was, I'm that kid's dad.
Do you think ESPN don't know how bad this might be as a fit, or they just figure he'll conform?
They desperate. And Charles is a made man. They inherit him. Hey, man, I got married again. Hey, man, she just got a son named Austin. Okay, dude. Let's go, bro. You go into the stall and just tell him, hey, man, I'm going to sit down and try to handle my business and everything. You squirt that in there. Anything extra you got, you shoot that in there.
That's
give him
right.
a little sound effect.
Yeah.
Sound effect.
Sound good.
Yep.
You make your own pee go in the toilet.
Yes.
The other Visine pee go in the bottle.
Yes.
Perfect.
Because we need you this week. Give it back to him nice and hot. We have a lot of guys that wear gold jackets that somehow they got it done.
All right, guys. Welcome to episode of Fully Loaded. Actually, episode 41. Chris Carter with his new cut.
Yep.
Look at that, bro.
I had to clean it up, man.
You look younger with the cleanup.
Spring cleanup.
You look younger with the cleanup. I'm just saying. I think you look. I walked in. I was like, damn, man.
All right.
I look at it. His game is on point. All right. So NFL draft. All right. I want to talk about the quarterback position. NFL draft. I want to talk about your thoughts on how that works. You know, from Cam Ward to Shador, and also your guy at Ohio State that everybody's having a meltdown about or talking about from the combine. What are your thoughts as we're getting closer to the draft and what's going to happen to the quarterback position, starting with Cam, Shador, whomever else you think is in there, Dart, all these guys? Like, what's that going to look like?
Well, once we've transferred into the offseason, you can see that Cam Ward is starting to get more momentum. And a lot of that is based on two things. Number one, overall arm strength.
Okay.
He's got a little bit stronger arm. And number two, he can throw the ball off platform, or he can do some of the things that we have seen the elite players in the league do. Throw on the run, escapability, is a better athlete. So those two things right there give him the edge over Shador. Shador is a great pocket passer. I still believe he's going to be a top 5 pick. I believe he'll be a long-time starter in the league. And then after that, I believe it's open between Will Howard, Dart, and one thing you haven't heard a whole bunch about is Jalen Milroe.
So switching gears, and LeBron James had a discussion with Stephen A. Smith at the Lakers game over on the bench. You seen that?
Yeah, I don't think it was a discussion.
Okay,
but go ahead.
Okay, well, what do you? Why don't you tell me? You tell me what you think happened.
Next time I see this motherfucker, I'm getting ready to tell him. Excuse me.
Which motherfucker?
LeBron.
Okay.
That's what. Next time I see him, like, I'm not going through the phone call on this one because they have talked on the phone before with discrepancies or, hey, you said this good. You know, like, they decided not to do that.
Okay.
Like, he didn't have Rich Paul, the agent, calling.
LeBron decided not to do that.
Yes.
He decided to wait until he saw him in person.
Yes, he knew he would see him.
Okay.
And when he waited till the time and towards the end of the Knicks game, he addressed him. And I thought it was sensational. And I think both of them are right. For one, LeBron, we have to allow LeBron to wear a couple different hats. Because this is LeBron, the dad. And what he's saying is, I don't believe my son is getting fair treatment. And you made a lot of money off the NBA, and I'm sure you can do that without having my son to be a part of that. Now, another thing I am going to tell you about Stephen A. Stephen A. has information on everybody in the NBA. And he also has not told stories. Like, he has intentionally omitted stuff, you know, to protect people. And LeBron knows that. LeBron knows that. So LeBron wanted to be addressed. He wanted to do in person. He didn't know when he was going to see him, but when he saw him, he went over and addressed him. And I do believe that Stephen A. did the right thing by not overreacting. And also, because I heard Stephen A.'s comments that this was someone's father talking to me.
Correct.
This was not LeBron James, top 5 NBA. Like, the hat he was wearing was, I'm that kid's dad. And that right there is you've had son in sports. I got a son in sports.
Yeah.
I can respect and understand. And that's why I would say in this situation, very, very rare, both of them did the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and Stephen A., I think what I took when he was talking about is he was not talking about the kid ever, unless he was talking about what LeBron said in the position he put him in. But as a dad, we get emotional. And also, you are LeBron James. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care whether it's business.
Mm-hmm.
If you've earned a certain level, you know, a dude that none of us know is not going to walk up to Stephen A. and talk any shit.
No,
Not like that. He's not going to.
no.
But LeBron, you know, that's where he's at. And he said something else that I never thought about this. Stephen A. said, in a sport where there aren't many former pros, kids as all-stars. And I was like, I guess I'm thinking about, I'm like, there's a lot of that shit in the NFL. Major League Baseball got a lot of it. A lot of dudes that, like, I had a kid, he ended up being a star too. Are there not that many NBA players whose kids, I was trying to think of one.
It's a numbers game.
Just because there's
It's less
dudes.
numbers. Baseball has more numbers on the roster than the NBA. NFL has twice the numbers that the baseball has, and even more on the practice squad. So it's not as if that there's some type of genetic edge to the NFL and what they're doing, or even Major League Hockey.
Baseball.
Major League Hockey and
The
baseball,
NHL,
they
yeah.
all have it.
No, you're right. NHL does.
But it's tough to do. And so now when you get into the sport that has the least amount of numbers, the probability of it happening, what you do see though, you see more brothers playing in the NBA. You know, I'm talking about blood brothers.
I know what
you know what I'm saying.
You know,
dog.
biological. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what
I
I'm
follow
saying,
you,
bro.
I got you.
So you see that happening
Yeah.
more so than you do than the father son. But I mean, it's a tough act. Any sport. Now you get NBA, you got 15 spots, 12 roster. That's
true.
tough.
Numbers game.
Yes.
All right. So you think they was both right? And what about Stephen A. addressing it after the way he did? Do you think that was a good look? Just to be able to address
this
it?
is the thing, man. Stephen A. is on a different level.
Mhm.
And like earlier in his career, he might have popped off and got emotional, but he realizes what's going on.
Mhm.
And LeBron is not that guy that I'm getting ready to, you know, go all in and go after.
Correct.
And his family.
Yeah.
Because, and the message is not supposed to be that. He feels for Bronny
Mhm.
because LeBron flexed and got his son in the NBA.
Mhm.
But what Stephen A. doesn't understand is that this happens in every walk of life.
Mhm.
So LeBron is taking it personal, even though Stephen A. said, I'm not saying anything negative. I know what you said was about me and how I'm raising my son.
Mhm.
Because this whole NBA thing is how I'm raising him. Because he could have stayed in college
Mhm.
another year, another 2 years.
Correct.
Compared to, because we knew he wasn't ready for the NBA. LeBron knew that.
Mhm.
But LeBron also didn't know at this age that he'd be playing this well. Because if he did, he would have done maybe a little bit different.
Correct. Be playing there. And
I
I
mean,
think
player of the month
I think
in the Western Conference. He hadn't been player of the month in 5 years.
I know.
If he had known that,
He had a longer runway.
yes.
It would have let the kid play in college and develop more. And it's hard to come out and say that, but as a dad, I feel for the kid too. Because I think in any walk of life, when you put that kind of pressure on a kid, no matter what he does, he can't win. So but yeah, I mean, he's playing unbelievably well, and it sure as hell ain't going to be his last season.
No.
So,
No.
All right, how about from a Lakers standpoint? I love watching Luka play with the Lakers. I definitely didn't like the press conference GM. I just thought it was weird. I think Jason Kidd sitting there nodding his head was weirder, and I think that. Is it too early for us to tell because Anthony Davis is hurt? Now Kyrie's out for the year. Is it too early for us to tell if the Mavericks really got screwed on this trade, or are you looking at it going, dude, I still don't understand why they did what they did?
Not unless Luka gets hurt, man. Luka will have always been a better player than Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Anthony Davis did help LeBron win a chip there in LA during the bubble, but there is no point in his career that he's been a better player than Luka. Luka's been more consistent at a young age. I mean, he's NBA, all NBA 5 times.
Correct. So why did they trade him?
Because they didn't think that he was going to totally buy into the overall conditioning. I would say the European players are a little bit different than the American players as far as how they're going to take care of their body, how they're going to go about what's the group they're going to have around them. And it was a $100 million transaction. It just wasn't the players because they didn't have to give him a super max. And obviously, Kyrie has shown them so many things that they believe that he can be the leader moving forward. Because AD is a good player, but he's not a leader. All he did in LA was complain about being the center for the Lakers.
Correct. I want to be a 5. I want to be out. Correct.
So George Mikan, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaq, Paul Gasol. You don't want to be in that class? And it's in the new NBA, man. Everybody's shooting threes and everything.
It don't matter anyway.
There's only a handful of centers.
They ain't backing you down anyway, bro. I'm playing the post. Yeah.
And the reaction of how LeBron reacted to his championship window was shut. Now it's open a little bit because of Luka. And if they get him in shape down the stretch, they're going to be a problem for somebody in the West.
And is he more apt to get in shape and take it more seriously playing with LeBron and the Lakers than having this GM?
How can you not? When you show up to the gym and this dude is sitting over there asleep like Michael Jackson. He got all his meals, Chef Boyardee, the motherfucking chef got him. I mean, how can you not? I mean, this is the gift for Luka. Like, this is where the sports gods, man, kissed him and was like,
woke him up.
Man, you have no clue. Now, I think that he's starting to understand because where he's from, the Lakers are huge. Dallas became huge there when he got there. But the Lakers are huge everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that also feeling like the general manager, some of the things they said, I know his dad commented more than he did. And those things can ignite that fire in you to give you that, okay, you know something? Everything they're saying is not totally inaccurate.
Correct.
I could tighten up and be even better. And now I got LeBron, that LA, man, and sitting courtside and the people coming in, man, that's
different. It's a different world.
Yes.
It's a different world.
I do believe it will change him because he's a little bit like Shaq. That's how the Lakers were able to get Shaq. But Shaq got locked in and won them championships. And then said, okay, I'm going to go back to my old ways and everything. Yep. So Luka's going to have an opportunity.
Get locked in. All right, so next year, NFL is going to a virtual measurement using Hawkeye technology. No more chain gangs, I guess. Is that good? Is it bad? Is it going to make a lot of difference with first downs? Do we miss a lot of them?
It's not going to change one thing in the game.
Got it.
That's probably one of the easiest things to do.
Got it.
It's not like we're running some no huddle offense and everything. So when they punt the ball down, they spot it immediately and you don't have time. No, I mean, when we played Little League, they had a chain gang.
I like the chain gang. I like the chain gang, dude.
You probably worked some few chain gangs, and you're probably out there commenting to the referees and everything.
Maybe.
Let me go to a couple municipalities where you worked at and see if they don't have your face up at the post office looking for this guy
a little bit, or I didn't drop the chain when the dudes were coming
right.
through. I didn't like.
Oh, yeah,
I held that thing up, stood by the sideline.
Or what you do is push it into them and run away.
I'm just saying. It
and
happens.
Then when you go to pick it up, it's bent.
It fucking happens. Let me tell you, it was not intentional. It was an accident. So that's an easy change. Ain't gonna affect nothing.
Definitely not.
All right. So Pac-Man Jones was on with Prime. He was on Tubi show. We got Time today, and he was talking about drug testing. I like what he said. What did he say? I was really good. Jones said. People don't know how smart I am, but I can say it now. I don't play no more. I never used my piss for a piss test. Not one time. Not one time. Well, first of all, I'm gonna say nothing else. I want your response to that, your comment to that.
I mean, I was in the NFL drug program for a long, long time. And I did use my pee. That's the only way I got out of the program. That's how I graduated. Became a star candidate for the league. But When dudes come through the door, I inform them on what can be done in these situations. If you've already been red flagged by the combine or by college flunk the test, and they're testing you several times a week, this is what you're going to have to do. And all of them, when you tell them it's in your best interest to stop getting high, all of them say, no problem. None of them have any intention of doing that. So we have to show them, and the best way to do it in the way that we used to do it, and I'm not going to tell you the names of these very, very famous football players.
I know you're not.
But we have doctored up some drug tests to make sure that our teammates
are playing
there. Yes.
You need them to play.
So the system in the NFL is it goes down like this. First thing in the morning, 7 in the morning, whoever they have randomly coming out of the computer, they put it on a white sheet of paper.
Is it really random?
Yeah, it's really random. It really is. And they put it on a white sheet of paper. And then what they typically do is put that on your locker, on your box, so that you see it when you come in. So we have an automatic red alert when it was P-test, when
a certain person.
My bad, y'all. My bad. We went off topic a little bit. But yeah, man, you see what I'm talking about? Everybody has looking at it from both sides and everything like that. And I feel like there's only one way to look at it. Stephen A. Smith is a bitch. No, but he's getting paid $100 million a year. No, not a year. His contract. For talk shit. He is entertaining. But people talk and shitting on LeBron, but don't they remember that Kwame Brown came out a couple of years ago? I was talking about Stephen A. Smith and the Go Along, Get Along gang. That's what really blew him up on the internet. About living a bust life and all that. You know?
Right. Whatever happened to Kwame? He had a little internet run for a while, and then the man just disappeared.
He's still around. He's just doing, you know. He be doing shit with Carcino sometimes. He be doing his own shit. But he got into the political arena, you know, when he started endorsing Trump. He got a lot of scrutiny and backlash and all that.
Ah, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense, though.
Yeah. They do. They really do.
Good night. Be careful not to slip.
Yes, sir.
So we gotta keep it real in the field when it comes to this whole LeBron situation. Everybody has something to say. All these other podcasters and shit coming out the woodworks. You know, just trying to create content off of it. I think that shit is lame, you know? Like, Brian wouldn't step to me like that. Step to me. Like, yeah. Give it a break. Give me a break. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like the moral of the story is if you ain't got no kids, don't tell somebody else how to raise their goddamn kids. What's happening? What's happening to these players out here, man? You know what I'm saying? They love their goddamn.
Exactly. Not only that, but if you're not in a position to dictate your child's future. It's one thing for somebody to have kids, but you have to be in a position to help the child have a
a good
bright
future,
future.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what everybody strives for, Like, it's like, come on,
can't
really?
judge a man that's pulling strings for his child to have a better future. That's crazy.
Yeah. A lot of people don't look at it like that, though. Look at it from a fan's perspective, Well, you could be a fan and a father, You use logic. Right? We can't lack logic in a time where everything is bullshit. We need to use more of it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Yep.
Well, it's another episode of the Mac Mizzle Show. Catch you back here tomorrow. Same Mac time, same Mac channel. And we got a good one for y'all tomorrow because we're going to talk about the liberals appointing a new leader in Mark Carney. Because Justin Trudeau stepped down, you know what I'm saying? So talk about that. And more sports, more everything, you know what I'm saying? It's more Matt Mizzle. My slogan. Keep it real and feel. You got it.
Peace.